Hello and welcome back to the Fox Strength Performance YouTube channel. I am Taylor Fox and today we're talking about collars and clips for a barbell as well as some other implements. Now let's face it, you could be one of three people. You could just forget to use collars altogether, you may not be able to find the right collar, or I'll rest when I'm dead and destiny drives me, so if my plates want to slip off the bar, then so be it. Or you just don't feel like using them. That's all you had to say. You don't feel like using them. So we're going to go from the ground up. We're going to start with the most basic clip that you could have, really the first one that I ever got, and then we're going to go up to like my preferred choices, like I feel is like top of the line and like really felt like investing in to have like convenience as well as safety here at home training with heavy weight. So the first one is this clip that I got with the fitness gear barbell set from Dick's Sporting Goods. I got when I was a teenager in high school training. So it's the most basic thing. You're going to see this everywhere. You just squeeze, slide it on, bring it back off. Traditionally, this really only works for a barbell. My axle being a little bit more of like a new age design, like a barbell, it does fit on this. You're going to see with some of the newer specialty bars, these will actually work. But then like the older stuff, like the original Rogue SSB, like this doesn't work on it. So this was purchased off Amazon. This is actually a very good collar. We use it a lot. I actually will use it often as a spacer at the end of the bar to make some space with the tension rods that we have above us when I overhead press. But I really could use this every day as like just a reliable collar for most of my training. This is a spin collar that I got with the axle that I purchased back in 2020. It's very good, very reliable. Actually has a little bit of weight to it. This we can use with most of our implements because you just spin as tight as you want it and then open it up. And it's nice to use too. We got some more heavy duty collars, sometimes unclipping that, locking it in repetitively over and over again. The amount of sets I do, it can be annoying and like it snaps back hard one time, hits you in the thumb, and then you're dealing with that for the rest of the session. This is a nice choice and I like it a lot. This is a Rogue collar. Now, Garage Gym Reviews did a review on collars and it was like Rogue really makes some of the best, like most consistent ones. Like this is super nice and it's a year and change old. I've used it a ton for a bunch of different things and it's really not wearing that much. Like the coating on here is still super nice and slick and like locks in real well, opens back up. Like I said, it is very easy to use, but then also like doing that over and over again can be a lot. So like if you help out at a strongman show, if you are part of a crew for a powerlifting meet, you see a lot of those guys wear gloves or tape your thumbs just because that stress over and over and over again. 50 to 100 plus competitors during the day for the competition, like it's going to be a lot. It's not just you training. So like that's where that factors in, that could be very irritating and annoying to use. The Lockjaw Pro. So this became famous with the Joe Sullivan video. He dropped into a gym. He was squatting like 675 or something like that. And he came up with the bar and the bar just literally bent as he was squatting up, which is crazy. Like that's really why the video went viral. Then like he's got to get out and now he's got like a self-made buffalo bar. Can't get it into the J-cups. So he's able to pop one side up, jerks himself out. Now, what was insane and involves the collars is that one side of the barbell is stuck in the rack. The other side is not in the J-cup and the weight is hanging down and the bar is like fluctuating. None of the plates ever came off. Like they just stayed on, everything stayed locked in. He brought his own lockjaw collars and like sometimes that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to travel to a gym and you wanna have your own collars in your bag. I even like consider doing that. Local gyms that I've been to in my area, something like to think about and always be prepared. Like if you don't own a home gym, but you travel around a lot and you go to a bunch of different gyms, getting your own collars, other pieces of equipment that you wouldn't think you would need in your bag in the first place can be a good move. Here we have a barbell. So we're going to go through each one. So this slides on real well, solid. This is also a good choice. That locks in very well. You can lock this on. And like I said, I'll usually set something like this up over here to just create space when I'm overhead pressing from this part of the rack. This is a Rogue collar. This is a Rogue bar. I like to use this, and that slides on real well. And then the Lockjaw Pro. And this one, it's like sometimes a little bit more, and I'll show you one of the other bars where it is a little bit hard to get it to stabilize and lock it. Boom, there you go, all the collars. So my axle is a little unique in that most of the collars work. So will this get a little redundant? Maybe. This does actually slide on and stay. Wasn't really expecting that when I started to prepare for this video. This will also lock on, and again, same thing as the barbell, kind of use it for some different purposes. The collar that came with the axle, let's hope that one works. Boom, does. This, but I don't really feel like I would use this one with the axle. A lot of times the axle is like one I'm going to be throwing around, like putting in a lot of different positions, trying to like do stupid strongman stuff with it. Locked and jawed, lockjaw, pro, there you go, collars, again. So this is the Titan multi-grip bar, football bar. This does fit on, but it's a little loose, like I can loosen it as I wiggle around with it. So pressing 3-4 plates on this bar, is this really gonna be ideal? No, but if it's your only choice, it does work. And all the other collars. So you might be like, oh, you know, there was a day when this channel had some good recommendations, and now we're just making a video. We're putting collars on a barbell. Okay, so now we get into a couple things that are a little varied and have a little bit more consideration to them. The mighty Titan SSB, and yes, again, all of my collars fit. The only thing I'll say about this one is that the sleeves are very slick, so that when I use the Lockjaw Pro, sometimes putting it on, you try to lock it and it just slides. Like it'll just slide around. So you kind of have to like make sure you get it in place and then lock it on. So the one thing I'll say with using the spin collar is that you lock it really tight and you lock it to the plates tightly. It kind of acts like a competition collar would, and that it sticks to the plates and the plates don't spin with the bar. I've noticed that with the JM presses that I've been doing, which could be an advantage if you're preparing for an axle, like a non-rotating axle. You don't want that rotation, so you really want to be able to fight like that stagnant weight that isn't like turning. It's also something if you don't want that, then it can be uncomfortable and weird. So that's one thing with this bar that I've noticed. So you're probably like, what was that? A demonstration that you're experiencing strength training and know what gym equipment to buy? Yeah, I am. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's why I made a YouTube channel. Woo! So I got one more implement for you guys. So we're going to talk about the Circus Dumbbell next. This was a big struggle for me because, one, I'm not great at Circus Dumbbell, so I was trying to really train it and improve. And then I would use multiple collars, but then the weight was still shifting around. So when I would press, sometimes the plates would just shift out and I would lose it out to the side or lose it forward, or it would just be an inefficient press. This is of no use. It does not lock on at all, so we can throw that away. This is a great collar. It doesn't really lock on too well. Sometimes you can get it to stick a little bit, and I thought maybe putting another collar over it just to add some extra layers of support, and then it would keep this on. This is really expensive, so I don't know why I would think I'm gonna put this on a Circus Dumbbell and it's gonna be sliding around even with another collar over it. So it's not really a good choice. My bad. Not gonna throw this one. This works okay, but it does strip the powder coating a little bit, so you'll get it to lock on and just try to get it as tight as you can. Every time you hit a weight, the weight's forced against the collar, it's gonna come loose a little bit. So I can't pull it off right now, but it does come loose, and then you'll look in the dumbbell and your collar is a foot off the plates, and you're just okay, great. I don't want to have to retighten it every single set, and also this is messing up my pressing session. This is really the best choice. If I'm using a standalone collar, this is the one that's gonna lock on, it's gonna keep the weight in place. And for this implement, it locks in perfectly. And this is really the reason I got the Lockjaw Pro, because I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. And it's really been one of the best purchases that we've had in the gym, because then those like next dozen Circus Dumbbell sessions, it's like the plates aren't moving around. Like I can go a few sets before like checking them to make sure that the collars are still in place, resetting everything. And a lot of times I'm making weight jumps anyway, so I don't even ever need to like check them. I'm just changing the weight in and out. So it's been a really nice addition. Now, I've got my dumbbell press up to like 250 in a competition. I've loaded this dumbbell and racked it on my shoulder with 250. So that's a lot of weight. So you may still like get some like push off of this. And so what I like to do is use this as my base and then reinforce it with another collar. So we talked about this one before. This does fit on. Now, it doesn't stay well on its own. So what I do, I have a lifting strap here. I thread it through the collar, and then we're gonna put the collar on. You gotta just make sure it's kind of like in the right spot against this rubber padding on the collar, and that makes it super solid and stays. If you're ever like traveling to a gym and you're like, I know this has a log, I'm gonna train log, you may wanna have a pair of collars in your bag, and you may want to have lifting straps. Now, you may get to the gym and they have collars that are usable, but you need the straps, so you have the straps. Or you get to the gym and they don't have anything, and then you have both the collars and the straps. I get kind of paranoid about like leaving my own stuff at the gym, so like you get there, whatever you need, you take out and you use, but if they already have something, like use the stuff that's there, you're paying to use it, but that just makes you as prepared as you can be, and like to have a great session versus like you're sitting there trying to log clean and press and the weights are coming off. You don't really know what to do because they don't have the proper equipment for it. And that could be just a huge game changer. So these are just the collars that I have here at the home gym. We didn't even get into the one like the spin competition collars, which I think are really cool. And I just don't feel like I have a need to invest in those. You get the ones that like you snap onto the bar and it rolls up and locks on. I think those are really cool. But we kind of had like the bare necessities, and then I was like, we need a really nice one. So we got the Rogue, and then I was like, we have a specific need for the Lockjaw, so we got that, and we just moved forward with those. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe, lifting those heavy weights, and hold strong.